Imagine discovering that one of the world's most deadly seafood delicacies is now being raised in controlled environments by farmers who cultivate over 8 million potentially lethal pufferfish annually. These seemingly innocent-looking creatures contain enough tetrodotoxin to kill 30 adults, yet they form the foundation of a $600 million industry that serves this dangerous delicacy to over 10 million diners each year in Japan alone. What makes fugu farming so incredibly risky that a single preparation mistake could prove fatal to consumers? How do modern aquaculture operations safely raise millions of these toxic fish while maintaining the precise poison levels that create the legendary tingling sensation prized by adventurous diners? And what extraordinary safety protocols transform these deadly creatures into the luxury cuisine that commands up to $300 per serving in Tokyo's most exclusive restaurants? Welcome to AgriCraft, where we explore the most dangerous and fascinating agricultural enterprises from around the globe. Today we're diving deep into the perilous world of fugu farming, the only form of aquaculture where farmers literally cultivate poison alongside protein. From the ultra-secure breeding facilities where toxic pufferfish begin their carefully monitored journey to the specialized processing plants where master chefs trained for years perform life and death preparation procedures, all will be revealed in this video. The story of fugu begins in the coastal waters of Japan, where these peculiar-looking fish have inhabited shallow bays and estuaries for millions of years. Pufferfish evolved their remarkable defense mechanism as protection against predators, concentrating powerful neurotoxins in specific organs that make them one of the most poisonous vertebrates on Earth. The consumption of fugu dates back over 4,000 years in Japanese culture, with archaeological evidence showing that ancient peoples regularly ate pufferfish despite the obvious dangers. Early Japanese texts document both the exquisite taste and the frequent deaths associated with fugu consumption, creating a cultural paradox that continues to fascinate people today. The toxicity of fugu comes from tetrodotoxin, a compound over 1,000 times more poisonous than cyanide. This neurotoxin blocks sodium channels in nerve cells, causing rapid paralysis that begins with tingling sensations and can progress to complete respiratory failure within hours. There is no known antidote, making proper preparation absolutely critical for survival. Traditional fugu preparation became an art form passed down through generations of specialized chefs who learned to identify and remove the most toxic organs while preserving just enough poison to create the characteristic numbing sensation that fugu enthusiasts crave. This delicate balance between pleasure and death made fugu preparation one of the most respected and feared culinary skills in Japan. The cultural significance of fugu extends far beyond simple cuisine. In Japanese society, eating fugu represents the ultimate demonstration of trust between chef and diner, symbolizing courage, sophistication, and appreciation for life's most intense experiences. This cultural mystique helped establish fugu as Japan's most expensive and exclusive seafood delicacy. Wild fugu populations supported small-scale fishing industries for centuries, but the combination of habitat loss, pollution, and intense harvesting pressure gradually reduced natural stocks throughout the 20th century. The declining availability of wild fugu, combined with growing demand from Japan's increasingly affluent population, created the economic conditions that would eventually drive the development of fugu farming. The transformation from wild capture to controlled cultivation began in the 1980s when Japanese marine biologists achieved the first successful breeding of fugu in captivity. This breakthrough required solving complex challenges including understanding the environmental triggers for spawning, developing appropriate larval diets, and most critically, learning how to manage the toxin levels that make these fish both dangerous and valuable. Early fugu farming faced unique obstacles since traditional aquaculture knowledge was inadequate for managing toxic fish species. Researchers had to develop entirely new protocols for handling, feeding, and processing fish that could kill anyone who made mistakes during cultivation or preparation procedures. The breakthrough that made commercial fugu farming viable came with the discovery that pufferfish toxicity levels could be controlled through careful management of diet and environmental conditions. Farmers learned that fish fed specific diets in controlled environments could be made significantly less toxic while retaining enough poison to satisfy traditional fugu cuisine requirements. Today, fugu farming represents one of Japan's most specialized and regulated aquaculture industries, with major production centers in Kumamoto, Nagasaki, and other coastal prefectures. These operations range from small family farms producing a few thousand fish annually to industrial facilities raising hundreds of thousands of fugu under strict government oversight. The economic impact of fugu farming extends throughout Japanese society, supporting thousands of jobs in specialized restaurants, processing facilities, transportation networks, and regulatory agencies dedicated to ensuring public safety. The industry generates substantial tax revenue while maintaining Japan's cultural heritage of fugu cuisine. Modern fugu farming has also become a technology-intensive industry that requires sophisticated monitoring equipment, specialized facilities, and extensive training programs for workers who handle these dangerous creatures throughout their production life cycle. The complexity of fugu farming begins with selecting breeding stock that carries the appropriate genetic characteristics for both growth performance and toxin production. Professional fugu farmers work with specialized hatcheries that maintain broodstock populations of proven genetics for consistent toxicity levels and market quality characteristics. Different pufferfish species require different management approaches based on their natural toxicity levels, growth rates, and market acceptance. Tiger pufferfish, the most commonly farmed species, offers the best balance of manageable toxicity and market demand, making it the foundation of most commercial operations. The breeding process requires extraordinary safety precautions since even handling breeding stock can be dangerous if proper protocols are not followed. Specialized facilities designed for toxic fish operations include emergency medical equipment, specialized ventilation systems, and strict personnel training requirements that exceed those found in any other aquaculture operation. Successful fugu farming requires sophisticated hatchery operations that can reliably produce millions of juvenile fish while maintaining strict safety protocols throughout the breeding process. Modern fugu hatcheries represent some of the most secure and controlled environments in all of agriculture. Broodstock management involves maintaining mature pufferfish in specialized tanks designed to minimize human contact while providing optimal conditions for reproductive development. These systems include automated feeding equipment, remote monitoring capabilities, and emergency containment systems that protect workers from accidental exposure. The spawning process itself requires expert coordination since fugu reproduction involves releasing millions of potentially toxic eggs into the water. Specialized collection and handling equipment allows hatchery operators to manage fertilized eggs without direct contact that could pose safety risks. Fertilized fugu eggs develop rapidly, hatching into microscopic larvae within days under optimal temperature conditions. These newly hatched larvae present unique challenges since they inherit toxicity from their parents and require specialized diets that support healthy development while managing poison levels. Larval rearing systems maintain strict water quality parameters while providing specially formulated diets that influence the toxicity development of growing pufferfish. The diet composition during early development stages directly affects the final toxin levels that determine both market value and safety requirements. Water quality management during larval rearing requires continuous monitoring of temperature, dissolved oxygen, ammonia, and other parameters that affect both fish health and toxin production. Any deviations from optimal conditions can result in either increased toxicity that makes fish too dangerous to consume or reduced toxicity that diminishes market value. The transition from larvae to juvenile fish represents a critical period when toxin levels begin stabilizing and fish develop their characteristic puffing behavior. Professional hatcheries employ specialized staff trained to recognize healthy development patterns while maintaining safety protocols throughout this vulnerable stage. Nursery operations prepare juvenile fugu for transfer to grow-out facilities while continuing to monitor and manage toxin levels through carefully controlled feeding programs. These intermediate facilities use progressively larger tanks and increasingly complex environmental management systems. The grow-out phase represents the longest and most carefully monitored stage of fugu farming, requiring specialized facilities designed specifically for toxic fish production. These operations must balance optimal growing conditions with the safety requirements that make fugu farming unlike any other form of aquaculture. Modern fugu farms utilize land-based recirculating aquaculture systems that provide complete environmental control while maintaining strict containment of potentially toxic water and waste products. These closed systems prevent any possibility of toxic contamination reaching surrounding environments or water supplies. Tank design for fugu cultivation incorporates safety features including double wall construction, emergency overflow systems, and specialized materials that resist corrosion from the unique water chemistry requirements of toxic fish farming. Each tank system includes backup life support equipment that ensures fish survival during equipment failures. Feeding management represents one of the most critical aspects of Fugu farming since diet directly influences final toxicity levels. Commercial Fugu feeds are specially formulated to provide optimal nutrition while controlling the compounds that affect tetrodotoxin production in developing fish. The feeding protocols involve multiple daily feedings using automated systems that minimize human contact with fish and their potentially toxic waste products. These systems include remote monitoring capabilities that allow operators to observe fish behavior and adjust feeding rates without entering containment areas. Diet composition varies throughout the growing cycle as farmers work to achieve optimal toxin levels that satisfy both safety requirements and market demands. Too much toxicity makes fish too dangerous for consumption, while too little toxicity fails to provide the characteristic experience that Fugu enthusiasts expect. Water treatment systems in Fugu farms require specialized filtration and sterilization equipment designed to handle potentially toxic waste products. These systems include backup treatment capabilities and emergency containment protocols that prevent any release of contaminated water. Environmental monitoring involves continuous testing for toxin levels in both fish and water systems throughout the growing period. Professional testing laboratories work exclusively with Fugu farms to provide rapid analysis of toxicity levels that guide management decisions. Growth monitoring requires specialized sampling procedures that minimize worker exposure while providing accurate assessment of fish development and toxin production. These procedures involve remote handling equipment and protective gear that exceeds safety standards used in other aquaculture operations. Disease prevention in Fugu farming relies on maintaining optimal environmental conditions while implementing biosecurity measures appropriate for toxic fish operations. Veterinary care requires specialists trained in toxic fish handling and emergency response procedures. The maturation process for farmed Fugu typically requires 18 to 24 months under optimal conditions, during which time toxin levels gradually stabilize and fish reach market size. This growing period demands constant vigilance and precise environmental management to ensure both fish health and appropriate toxicity levels. Harvesting Fugu requires the most stringent safety protocols found anywhere in modern agriculture, since this stage involves direct handling of mature fish at peak toxicity levels. Professional harvesting teams undergo extensive training and certification before being allowed to work with these dangerous creatures. The harvesting process begins with careful assessment of fish maturity and toxin levels through specialized testing procedures that verify readiness for market. Only fish that meet strict toxicity standards are approved for harvesting, while others are returned for additional growing time. Harvesting equipment includes specialized nets, handling tools, and containment systems designed specifically for toxic fish operations. All equipment undergoes rigorous sterilization procedures between uses to prevent any possibility of cross-contamination or accidental exposure. Personal protective equipment for harvesting crews exceeds industrial safety standards and includes specialized suits, gloves, and respiratory protection designed for toxic environments. Emergency medical equipment and trained medical personnel remain on site during all harvesting operations. Quality assessment during harvesting evaluates fish size, overall condition, and most critically, toxin levels that determine market category and pricing. Professional toxin testing using laboratory-grade equipment ensures that each fish meets specific safety and quality standards before processing approval. Live transport systems maintain fish in optimal condition while providing complete containment of potentially toxic water and waste products. Specialized transport vehicles include life support equipment, monitoring systems, and emergency response capabilities that exceed requirements for other seafood species. The volume handled during harvesting operations remains relatively small compared to other aquaculture species due to the specialized nature of Fugu markets and the safety requirements that limit processing capacity. Individual attention to each fish ensures maximum safety and quality throughout the harvesting process. Processing coordination involves direct communication between farms, certified processing facilities, and licensed restaurants to ensure optimal timing and safety throughout the distribution chain. This coordination includes real-time toxicity testing and quality verification at each stage of the process. The transformation of live fugu into consumable cuisine products occurs in specialized processing facilities that represent some of the most regulated and controlled food processing environments in the world. These operations combine traditional Japanese culinary techniques with modern food safety technology. Processing begins with receiving live fugu and conducting comprehensive testing to verify toxin levels and overall fish condition. Only certified technicians with years of specialized training are permitted to handle fugu during processing operations, and each processor must pass rigorous examinations and maintain current certifications. The preparation process requires master-level skills since improper technique can result in fatal toxin contamination of edible portions. Traditional fugu preparation involves precise knife work that removes toxic organs while preserving just enough poison to create the desired culinary effect. Processing facilities utilize specialized equipment including custom-designed cutting stations, waste containment systems, and emergency medical equipment. All equipment undergoes strict sterilization procedures between uses, while processing areas maintain controlled access and continuous monitoring for safety compliance. Quality control procedures involve testing every processed portion for toxin levels using laboratory-grade equipment that provides immediate results. Any portions that exceed safety limits are immediately destroyed using specialized waste disposal protocols that prevent environmental contamination. Advanced processing plants incorporate automated systems for certain preparation stages while maintaining handcrafted techniques for critical safety determining procedures. These hybrid approaches combine efficiency with the artisanal expertise essential for safe fugu preparation. Industrial machines designed specifically for fugu processing include specialized waste disposal systems, water treatment equipment, and air filtration systems that prevent any possibility of toxic contamination reaching surrounding areas. Temperature control throughout processing maintains optimal flesh quality, while supporting the chemical stability of toxin levels. Processing areas utilize precision climate control systems that maintain consistent conditions regardless of external weather variations. Modern processing facilities also include research laboratories that conduct ongoing studies of toxin levels, seasonal variations, and safety protocols. This research contributes to improved farming techniques and enhanced safety procedures throughout the industry. Waste disposal from fugu processing requires specialized procedures since all waste products contain potentially lethal toxins. Licensed disposal companies use incineration and other approved methods to safely destroy toxic waste while preventing environmental contamination. The packaging stage transforms processed fugu into market-ready products while maintaining the strict safety protocols required throughout the distribution chain. Fugu packaging utilizes specialized materials and procedures designed specifically for toxic food products. Packaging systems employ materials that prevent any possibility of toxin contamination while maintaining product freshness during distribution. Each package includes detailed safety information, handling instructions, and toxicity level documentation required by regulatory agencies. Automated packaging systems maintain sterile conditions while minimizing human contact with processed products. These systems include emergency shutdown capabilities and continuous monitoring for safety compliance throughout packaging operations. Labeling systems provide comprehensive safety information including toxin levels, preparation requirements, and emergency contact information for medical assistance. All labels must meet strict regulatory requirements and include warnings about the potential dangers of fugu consumption. Cold storage facilities maintain precise temperature control while providing secure containment of toxic products. Storage areas include specialized ventilation systems, emergency response equipment, and restricted access controls that prevent unauthorized handling. Advanced packaging operations include tracking systems that monitor every package from processing through final delivery to licensed restaurants. This traceability system ensures accountability and rapid response capability in case of safety concerns. Distribution logistics for fugu products involve the most regulated supply chain management found in any food industry. Licensed distributors must maintain specialized equipment, trained personnel, and emergency response capabilities throughout the distribution network. Transportation vehicles include life support systems for live fugu, temperature-controlled storage for processed products, and emergency medical equipment for responding to potential exposure incidents. All transport operations require certified drivers trained in toxic material handling procedures. The distribution network serves only licensed restaurants and certified food service establishments that employ qualified Fugu chefs. This restricted distribution system ensures that Fugu preparation remains under professional control throughout the entire supply chain. Regulatory oversight includes government inspectors who monitor every stage of the distribution process, conduct random testing of products, and verify compliance with safety regulations. This oversight system represents one of the most comprehensive food safety programs in the world. Storage and inventory management systems track the age, toxin levels, and destination of every Fugu product throughout the distribution network. Computerized tracking provides real-time monitoring and rapid recall capability if safety concerns arise. International shipping of Fugu products remains extremely limited due to safety concerns and regulatory restrictions in most countries. Japan maintains strict controls on Fugu exports while most other nations prohibit importation of these toxic products entirely. The Fugu farming industry generates limited byproducts due to the toxic nature of virtually all portions of these fish. Traditional uses for Fugu waste focus primarily on research applications and specialized pharmaceutical compounds derived from tetrodotoxin. Tetrodotoxin extraction for medical research represents the most valuable byproduct of Fugu processing. This powerful neurotoxin has potential applications in pain management and neurological research, though commercial development remains in experimental stages. Fugu skin processing produces specialized leather products used in traditional Japanese crafts, though the toxic nature of the material requires careful handling and limits market applications. These products serve primarily ceremonial and decorative purposes rather than practical applications. Scientific research applications utilize Fugu specimens for studying neurotoxin production, fish physiology, and toxicology research. Academic institutions and pharmaceutical companies purchase specimens for controlled research programs that contribute to medical and scientific knowledge. From a culinary perspective, Fugu preparation requires master-level skills that few chefs ever achieve. Traditional preparation methods emphasize paper-thin slicing techniques that distribute minimal toxin levels throughout the meat, while creating the characteristic presentation that makes Fugu cuisine so distinctive. The legendary Fugu experience centers on the subtle tingling sensation that results from consuming trace amounts of tetrodotoxin. This sensation, described as a mild numbness that spreads from the lips and tongue, represents the ultimate thrill for adventurous diners willing to risk their lives for culinary excitement. Modern Fugu cuisine has evolved to include various preparation styles including sashimi, hot pot dishes, and grilled preparations. Each method requires precise toxin management to ensure safety while providing the unique experience that justifies Fugu's extraordinary prices and legendary reputation. Nutritional analysis reveals that Fugu provides high-quality protein with relatively low fat content, though the presence of lethal toxins overshadows any nutritional benefits. The fish contains essential amino acids and minerals, but these nutritional characteristics are secondary to the toxicological considerations that define Fugu cuisine. The environmental impact of Fugu farming represents an improvement over wild harvesting practices that put pressure on natural pufferfish populations. Controlled farming operations reduce the need for wild capture while contributing to research that supports conservation of natural ecosystems. Sustainability efforts in Fugu farming focus primarily on maintaining genetic diversity and supporting research that contributes to understanding pufferfish ecology and toxin production. These efforts help preserve both the cultural heritage of Fugu cuisine and the scientific knowledge gained from studying these remarkable creatures. Waste management in Fugu operations requires specialized treatment systems that safely destroy toxic materials while preventing environmental contamination. These systems represent some of the most sophisticated waste treatment technologies found in any agricultural operation. Research contributions from Fugu farming include advances in toxicology, neuroscience, and aquaculture technology that benefit multiple scientific disciplines. The unique challenges of managing toxic fish have led to innovations that improve safety protocols throughout the food industry. From the ultra-secure hatcheries where millions of potentially lethal pufferfish larvae begin their dangerous journey through carefully controlled development stages to the master chefs who perform life and death preparation procedures in Japan's most exclusive restaurants, we've witnessed agriculture's most perilous and culturally significant enterprise. This industry demonstrates how traditional cultural practices can be preserved and modernized through sophisticated agriculture technology, while maintaining the ultimate respect for both safety and tradition. The journey from toxic larvae to restaurant-ready fugu showcases the extraordinary expertise and safety protocols required when farming creatures that can kill the people who consume them. The precision demanded at every stage from spawning to final preparation represents some of the most rigorous quality control and safety management found anywhere in modern food production. The industrial scale of modern fugu farming, while relatively small compared to other aquaculture operations, demonstrates how specialty agriculture can support entire cultural traditions while maintaining the highest possible safety standards. From controlled breeding facilities to specialized processing plants, this industry exemplifies the successful balance between cultural preservation and modern technology. What makes fugu farming particularly remarkable is its role in maintaining one of humanity's most dangerous culinary traditions, while actually improving safety through controlled production methods. Every farmed fugu represents reduced risk compared to wild-caught specimens, while supporting research that enhances understanding of these fascinating toxic creatures. The sophistication required throughout the fugu farming process, from genetic selection to final chef preparation, demonstrates the ultimate complexity of specialty aquaculture. This industry proves that even the most dangerous agricultural products can be safely produced when proper protocols, training, and respect for the risks are maintained throughout every stage of production. Thank you for joining us on this extraordinary exploration of fugu farming and the world's most dangerous cuisine. If you found this investigation into toxic aquaculture as fascinating and terrifying as we did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to AgriCraft for more comprehensive looks at the world's most unusual and challenging agricultural enterprises. Leave a comment below if you'd like to see more extreme food production content, or if you have questions about the safety protocols we covered in today's seafood documentary. Until next time, keep exploring the incredible diversity and danger in modern agriculture and aquaculture.